So now it is time to run with the horses. So you have come to the point in your established careers where now you have been elevated to the position of authority. Now you are the supervisor. Now you are the manager. Or now you are the VP of whatever. Or now you are the CEO. Or now you are the director of this branch. So now it's on you. I call this running with the horses because now you are in charge. Now everything falls on your shoulders. Now you have folks that you have influence over. And now you are responsible for their mentoring and their development because you are now the leader in charge. So running with the horses. Well, in running with the horses, we all know that all horses have a jockey. And that jockey's main goal is to get up on a horse and ensure that that horse be the first horse across the finish line. But it don't happen by osmosis. There are some things that are required for that horse to, from the starting point to the finish line. And that jockey goal is to get it from the starting point to the finish line. And so the jockey has to sit on the horse and critically think in order to win the race. Well, so you as a leader, you are the jockey. In this leadership role now, running with the horses, you are the jockey. So you have to critically think for your organization. And that becomes upon your shoulders. You have to mentor and develop all those employees that work or report to you. So that becomes your role. Now, also, we know that all horses in this race, they have a bridle in their mouth. And that bridle's responsibility is for direction. That jockey uses that bridle to control the direction of the horse. Now, you as the leader, you must also be able to give direction. It is required that you have to give direction, give a vision, a plan, and you have to start the workforce out with a plan, a sense of direction. So as a leader, remember that bridle. That bridle is emblematic of you giving direction and you giving rudder steer, especially when they come to ask for questions. So the bridle, keep it in mind, the bridle is there for direction. Next, all horses have blinders. And that sole purpose and that blinder is to keep the horse focused because you got a mission. You got some stated outcomes. You got a target that you're trying to reach. You got goals that you have established. And so that set of blinders on the horse is to keep the horse free of distractions. Well, likewise, it is for you as a leader. You want to make sure, metaphorically speaking, you have your blinders on daily. So that way you don't get distracted with unnecessary distractions. So keep your blinders about you. And you want to make sure you know what things to engage in and what things you know that your subordinate leaders, they should be engaging in. So remember those blinders. Those blinders are simply there so that way you can keep your focus. Because remember, staying focused is key. And next, you know, that horse, when the jockey strikes the horse on the rear end, I call that obstruction to the rear. That tells the horse to kick in and give it all it got to get to the finish line. You know, that is emblematic of muscle memory. At this stage, because the horse has been trained, coached, and mentored. And now the horse knows because the jockey just emblematically told it with that strike to the rear to kick in and get to the finish line as fast as you can possibly get there. Well, so also in the workforce as a leader. Now when the workforce are your employees, when they can no longer look in the book for instructions. There's no place else to turn, but now they come to the leader. And you're at that high water mark Well, now you know what? We had some challenges in our organization. And as the leader, muscle memory has to kick in. Now, whenever you get out your comfort zone, these are the times and the occasions where you fall back to your leadership and you have to steer the workforce to success. So remember, that obstruction is reps and sets that you've already trained for. And remember, we train for the known, but we educate for the unknown. So our training is for things that we know. We know these are going to occur every day. We know this is going to come at 10 o'clock every morning. So we train to that standard. But when we educate to these may be what ifs. We don't know, but we want to make sure we get your education base in such a way, your knowledge base build up in such a way so that when these things out of the unknown happen, that you can effectively, critically think your way through. So know that obstruction to the rear. And finally, all horses are kept in the stable. And that stable is symbolic of the workforce, where everything goes down. The training, the education, the mentoring, the coaching. The leader builds his or her organization in the stable. The stable is your building. The stable is your organization where you do business every day, where the workforce get to see you. They get to see you. They get to, you have to emulate what right looks like to them every day. So that is your responsibility. So the stable is so important because not only you teaching leadership, not only you teaching ethics, not only you emulating what right should look like. So the stable is symbolic to where everything goes down. And the stable is that environment. Are you set in a conducive environment? Is your home base in such a way that as a leader, you're productive? So this is called running with the horses. And when eventually you're going to become in charge. And you know what? I know that most leaders, they revert back to what they were trained, mentored, and developed through. So there comes a time when you are in charge. And now when you are in charge, it's a different ballgame. Your perspectives change because your aperture, opens up much wider. And now everything falls upon your shoulders. So know that, hey, that stable is the environment. This is where all the training go down. And I wish you well. Just remember, the jockey is you. Develop yourself in such a way. Learn all that you can do to better yourself. Every day, better yourself and seek improvement. And remember the bridle. The bridle is for direction. Continue to always give your people a solid plan. Give them direction and let them go out and execute. And give them run or steer from time to time. Remember the blinders. The blinders, keep your focus about yourself and free of distractions. Now, distractions are going to come, but you want to make sure that you keep them blinders on, that you don't let distractions overcome you. And that obstruction to the rear. Remember that obstruction. And you fall back on all the things that you've learned. Muscle memory kicks in. And finally, that stable. The stable is home base, where all things, we teach and all the lessons get taught in the stable. And you're setting that environment. Thank you for this quick discussion on running with the horses now that you are in charge. And just keep in mind that, if you want to reach me, hit me on my website, SmithLCG.com, or my YouTube channel, Smith LCG. Thank you for your time and your patience, and I enjoy having these conversations. And if you want to reference, what I'm talking about today is chapter 10 in my book, Mission First, People Always. So this quick conversation came from chapter 10 out of my book. And you can both get them at Barnes & Noble or Amazon. Thank you for your time.